Sbonekonke Group is a South African-based company with three main divisions. Those are farming, mining, and logistics. Of course, we're going to be focusing on the farming side of the operations. And part of the farming is a piggery, poultry farming, as well as farmer training. That's about for 12 months. And then there's a mentorship program that follows thereafter. So we're joined by the founder of Sbonekonke Group, who is Reggie Mkhize, joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. You're a busy man.
Yeah.
Just the intro tells us that it was difficult to get you here. So we are the ones who are honored.
Yeah.
We've got three main divisions.
You have to make time for such things. We need to sit and educate people about farming, because most people don't actually understand farming.
Absolutely.
They think it's just a dirty game where you just go there, get dirty and come back broke.
Yeah.
But there is money in farming if you do it right.
Yeah. So let's talk about your journey then into the space of farming, and why did you choose pigs and chickens?
I think it was for the love of money, because I'm an accountant by profession. So I had to look at the financial returns on farming as a whole. And then I've decided that maybe doing chickens as a passive income, 6 weeks, you get your money. And then pigs, 6 months or so, 5-6 months, you get your money. So you need to have something that will fund the long-term one. So chickens can fund pigs, then pigs can fund projects like mining and other things.
Yeah. Let's talk then about the pig farming side of things. If one is setting up a pig, set up a piggery, what would be the main things that they need to consider that will be adhering to health and safety?
It's I think there's education, a lot of education that need to be out there, especially with pig farming, because people think that farming pigs is just letting them roam around, eat everything. People tell you that pigs eat everything, which is not true. So if you want to do any kind of farming, especially commercially, you need to adhere to health and safety. You need to have your EIA, which is environmental assessment. So you need to have people that come to your farm, look at your structures, look at how you're going to be cleaning your pig structures. Where are you disposing all the litter? Are you having a septic tank? How are you running that? Because that's affecting the environment, and the neighbors also will complain about the smell and everything. So you need to make sure that you adhere to the health and safety, biosecurity. There's a lot of things that need to be considered before you even start farming. You can't say you're starting farming where there's people. First thing first, your area must be zoned for farming. The zoning first is the first thing that needs to be considered. Once you get the tick right, then you apply now for the environmental assessment. Then they come in and do the assessment, and then they give you a certificate. You need to have water rights also, because pigs, they drink about 30 liters of water a day, one pig. So imagine if now you're commercial and if you have 1,000 pigs, it means you need 30,000 liters of water a day. You can't use municipality water. You need to have your borehole and prove that your borehole can pump that amount of water a day before you can even be given the water rights.
So these are things that are good to know, because somebody might think, I'm going into farming, I want to do pigs because there's money there, but they don't know that there's the background checks and the certification. How long will that take then to set up? It can take years, it sounds like.
Yeah, but you start somewhere. Especially, let's say, for example, you're going to start with 2 sows, which is females, and 1 male. You don't need all of that. So you can grow from there until you are certified as being a commercial farmer. Then all those requirements now you have to adhere to. But before you become a commercial farmer, you don't have to actually worry about those things.
Yeah. So how much can one get from 1 sow, for example, in terms of reproduction? How many piglets can you budget you'll have in a year?
A pig can give you piglets up to the number of TTs a female has.
Okay.
So you count the number of TTs, the nipples. So a pig that's got, say, for example, 10 nipples or 10 TTs can't give you 20 piglets.
Okay.
So you start from there. So before you even say this pig is good for breeding, you need to count the number of TTs. So if the TTs are 15 or 18, that's a good pig to breed with. But anything below 12, you need to sell that to the butcheries because it will give you only 10 or 12 piglets, which is not something you want. So for me, I'll say on average, I get about 16 piglets. I get a pig which can give me 22 piglets, some 16, some 18.
In a year space?
At once.
And how often do they give birth?
Twice a year.
Twice a year, okay.
So you can have, for example, 2 sows, maybe giving you 16 piglets each, means a year you get 32 from each, which is 64 from two females.
Yeah.
It's a very, pig farming grows exponentially. So before you even start farming, you need to budget and say, if I have 2 females, for example, and I'm budgeting to have 64 piglets a year, how much feed is that a year? Do you have that money in your bank? If you don't have that money in your bank, then go down and say, I want to start with 1. Because that's the mistake that most farmers do. They start big, and then when they're inside, or when they're there in their project, they find out that this is a very capital intensive project, and then they stop. And then you hear people saying pig farming doesn't have money, chicken farming doesn't have money, but people don't plan properly, and they are not educated enough to know the financial management side of it and the farming side of it. So once you combine those two, you'll be very clued up as far as to say, how many can I start with?
Okay. And then how long is the reproductive cycle of a sow or a female? For how long is it able to produce piglets?
They differ. You find a pig that can go up to 5 years. You find one that can go up to 3 years. So how do you determine whether the pig is still good for breeding or not? You look at the number of piglets you get from that female.
Okay.
So for example, let's say you have this female that started maybe by giving you 18 piglets, and then maybe next litter it drops to 16, the third litter maybe to 15, fourth litter. And then you decide now that I know once it gets to 10 piglets, I'm fine, let me sell it. Because maybe you're calculating based on your financials that a pig that gives you 10 piglets per litter, it means it's 20 a year. How much feed does that pig eat in a year? Then you say, no, it doesn't make sense now to keep it, then you can sell it. Okay. So I've got pigs that have been with me for 5 years. Some are sold at 3 years.
Okay, and then they become pork and pork chops.
Bacon
and pork chops.
Those ones, they become wors.
They become wors?
Yeah, that's the wors you're eating. It's from the retired pigs.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, the ones that are still fresh, then that's pork chops, pork ribs, and all of that.
Okay.
Baconers are the small ones, about 3 months or so, because the meat is still nice, soft and tender. Then once it grows to about 6 months, become porkers, where you get your pork chops and your pork ribs.
Let's talk poultry now, because that's the one that made us meet. Because I did attend your training on that.
Yeah.
And in your training, you talk about the importance of establishing a market first before even setting up your poultry business.
Yeah.
Why is that important?
It's very important because you need to know who's going to buy your product. Obviously, even if you sell bananas, you need to know where are you going to be selling those bananas to. So it's also with chickens, you need to establish a market first, because the market will help you to even know how do you grow your chickens, up to how many weeks. Let's say, for example, you'll be supplying the likes of Chicken Licken. You don't need to grow your chickens up to 6 weeks, but you grow them up to 4 weeks. So now knowing your market will now tell you how much feed you need then you budget properly.
Yeah.
And also you need to ask yourself, are you going formal or informal market? Informal market, you can grow even 300 chickens and still make money, because people just weigh the chicken and say 120 rand, you sell it. But when you go formal, the margins become slim, so you need to push your volumes there. So you can't supply, for example, checkers with chickens and saying you have 1,000 a week. You need to push volumes, maybe 50,000 a week, because your margins will be about 12 rand per chickens.
In the formal market, is it always necessary to take the chickens to the abattoir, or you can sell them live?
No, the market wants them slaughtered.
Yeah.
Unless if your contract, whoever you're supplying says, no, they've got their in-house abattoir, because they have their own way of slaughtering, maybe halal or whatever.
Yeah.
Then those ones will take the chicken and slaughter them themselves. But most formal markets, they want them already slaughtered, cleaned and dressed.
Okay. The lifespan of, no, maybe not the lifespan. Let's talk about which method you'd advise in terms of growing your chicken population, a hatchery or buying day-old chicks. And how do you
Um,
do it? Which one do you prefer?
for me, I cover the whole value chain.
Okay.
So it's easier to make money if you start hatching yourself. You can start buying a small incubator. You don't have to buy a huge one. You can start by buying a small incubator that will accommodate your project. Let's say, for example, when I start with 1,000 chicken, you invest in an incubator that takes 1,024 eggs. That will give you 1,000 chicks, and then you grow those chicks that you hatch yourself. Because you find that now there's a lot of people out there who are selling day-old chicks, but the quality is poor. And then you invest your money on buying those chicks, and then you grow them. They don't grow. They eat all your profit, and then you shut down. But if you at least you cover at least a small step as hatching for yourself, you know that the chicks that you'll be growing is good quality, something that you want.
Yeah. And we're not going to go into what the good quality is. I know how to check. I know how to check
You know
because
how to check.
I attended training. We want people to attend Sbonekonke training.
We
So we're
can't
not
give
giving
too
out all
much.
the secrets.
Yeah.
What we can talk about then, I guess, is how much would you say somebody needs to budget financially to start a proper poultry production, and how much space would one need?
It's also depends whether we talking broilers, which are the ones for meat, or we're talking layers, which are the one for eggs. When we talk of broilers, the ones for meat, you can have obviously you need you can accommodate say 20 chickens per square meter. So in a small room, say about 5 square meters, you can easily do about 500 chickens there. So in terms of budgeting, we could say, for example, if you want to start with 1,000 chickens, I don't know if that's small. If you want to start with 1,000 chickens, you must have at least 50,000 rand in your account.
Okay.
But looking at the profit side of it, say 1,000 chickens, you spend 50,000 rand to grow them, and let's say you're selling them for 100 rand, you're getting 100,000 rand. So you have 100% profit there. But if you're talking of layers, which are the ones for eggs, if you start with 1,000 chickens, you're playing.
Okay.
You need to at least start from 3,000 up.
Yeah.
For you to see something you're doing. If you're doing 1,000 chickens on layers, you're looking at about 50 cent profit per egg, and the chicken will give you only 1 egg a day. So it means if you're making 50 cent, you have 500 rand a day on 1,000 chickens. How many days in a month? 30. You're looking at about 15,000 rand versus the 1,000 broiler chickens, which give you about 50,000 rand. So it's all about volumes when you do eggs. For me, I know it's always sound too much, but I always say if you want to start layers, go big or go home.
Yeah.
If you don't have money to start with at least 10,000, invest, maybe keep on investing and get more money before you start with layers. But broilers, you can start with 500, you can still make money.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Your training then that you host, who can be a part of that training? Is there a specific group that you target?
Everyone. Obviously, I'm not targeting people who want to come to my training and then after training they go look for a job. I'm training someone who wants to say, I have this passion to start farming, but I don't know where to start. Those are the people I'm looking for myself. I have some money and I have passion, because obviously farming, especially when you talk of animals, you need to love them. You need to have patience. And patience. So if you want to do it just for money, you won't survive. So you need to have love for it, for the animals, and patient enough to see your business grow. So to answer your question, anyone can come for my training. Even if you are not a South African, it's fine. You can come for training, even if you don't have matric. As long as you can hear and understand the concept of farming, I'm good to go.
Okay, so how do people connect with you then?
We are everywhere on social media. We are Sbonekonke Farming on TikTok. TikTok, we are Sbonekonke. Insta, we are Sbonekonke. And when we have a website, which is www.sbonekonkegroup.com. I don't know if I have to say my number, but yeah,
If you don't mind, I mean, if it's open to the public, you can share.
Yeah, the number is 073 008 9685. Our training is actually 1 day. So you attend our training for 1 day, which covers chickens, pigs, and how to make feed for your chickens and your pigs. Because 70% of your production cost on chickens and pigs is feed. So if you can learn how to reduce your feed cost by making your own feed, that's when you maximize on profit. So we teach people how to make feed from scratch. The ingredients doesn't come from heaven. It's everything that you can plant. It's maize, it's soya, it's wheat. So those are the things we teach people how to make your own feed, to reduce your feed cost by at least 23%.
Okay.
And then once you're done with the course, then you get a certificate. Then after the certificate, then there's a mentorship that kicks in. When you start your project, now we give you 12-month mentorship, but you don't attend the mentorship. You call or you send WhatsApp or you send email if ever you need advice or guidance on anything that wasn't probably not covered during training.
Okay. So if someone wasn't paying attention and they're calling you after 12 months, you say,
No.
Your time has expired.
Has expired. But remember that mentorship, if let's say, for example, you attend our course today, but you start your project next year, Jan, that mentorship will only start next year, January, until December. So it's, yeah.
But that's enough. 12 months is
12
enough.
months is
You
enough.
don't want people taking advantage of you, also calling you there while you're on holiday, saying, I need advice on this.
If you still can't get your craft right after 12 months, then there's something wrong.
It's not for you then.
It's not for you. You're in the wrong space.
Do you have any closing remarks? Maybe, I don't know, advice for young people who want to get in the space? What are some of the misperceptions? Maybe also that you can...
I'll just say to people, especially our Black people, is that farm or agriculture is broad. People still have that perspective of saying, or a perception of saying, farming is for all people. We're having a problem or a crisis now in South Africa of food insecurity. We importing everything, like almost everything. We're importing dump chickens from Brazil and America, which is not good for our health. We importing cabbages, peppers, things that we can grow in South Africa. So what happens now is that as the old farmers retires and leave the country, we have a problem that now the farms are sitting idle, and now no one is interested because the youth now is into technology, innovation, AI.
And AI is not going to feed us.
It's not going to feed us. Exactly. So youth need to know that there is actually career in farming or in agriculture. You can be a vet. You can be an accountant at the farm. You can own your own farm, even if you're 15 or 18 or 20 or 30, you can still own a farm and supply the market. Because what we need is food security. So I would say people out there, they still need to research and educate themselves more about agriculture, and that you can still make money. I left my profession as an accountant myself into farming, and I'm not regretting it.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you so much for your big success story and for making time for us today.
Thank you so much.
Reggie Mkhize is founder of Sbonekonke Group, and he was speaking to us about the farming division of that business, because there's other divisions as well. So that's Asanda on agriculture today.